Sure. We all love time saving, don't we? So,
Yeah.
um, as I just mentioned, relative to Visit Ops, which is our briefing tool, I really believe if you use it to the full functionality, you're saving time. If you leverage the functionality that is in there, you are saving time. There's no doubt. Also looking when we deploy the Nexus CMS system, that's going to be a time savings. As I mentioned, right now it's manual intervention. So to have a system that's automated, it's dynamic. We make a change in Visit Ups relative to the agenda or their customer. It's auto pushing the updated information out, and that will go across all 10 centers, right? Without a huge lift there. And I think be much more professional and customized. I love the customized part of it. So that will for sure be a time saver for us. We also use tools like Power BI and the dashboards. And so it's kind of a self-service there. And we leverage that extensively for the metrics that we're sharing with our stakeholders. We also seem to leverage smart sheets a lot. So things like onboarding our new discussion leaders, our feedback and surveys, we're just leveraging that tool quite a bit, and it's pretty powerful, and it is a time saver. As I mentioned, we also use the app Draw Loop, which sits on top of Salesforce, and that we use to format our final briefing packets. And so if you're doing 3,000 plus briefings a year, that's multiplied, right? That's a lot of time saved for our briefing consultants, not having to format and play around in Word with getting the documents to look right. We also work with a third-party vendor to help us with our annual discussion leader cleanse. And so with 2,600 people in there, they are able to do massive record updates for us. So we need to keep their records clean, because if you're going to go call on someone, right, you don't want to waste the briefing consultant's time and reaching out to people that aren't aligned to a topic or left the company, or right. So you've got to keep those records nice and clean. So we do leverage an outside vendor to help us with that. Another thing that we did, and we have found this to be a time saver for enabling groups of people. So enabling newly onboarded discussion leaders or our facilitators or our virtual moderators, allowing a bunch of people to attend something all together. So we created these things called observation rooms. And an observation room is kind of the shadow room where participants can observe a briefing without really being seen or heard in the briefing. We always do it with approval from the account teams and approval from the customer, but they're able to actually observe and watch a briefing. They can have their own chats and internal conversation, and the people in the actual executive briefing will never see or hear them. So that has allowed us to have more shadowing of a briefing and help really enable our internal stakeholders that help support briefings. So we've used that extensively, especially during the pandemic. We use that a lot. So those are the things that are top of mind in terms of where we're trying to save as much time as possible.